Hi, my name is Lori Ward, and I'm going to be doing my trach suction video today on my patient. I'm going to bring my patient record, check against the orders from the physician that says that he needs to be suctioned. I'm going to do 2 identifiers on my patient. I'm going to ask him his name and check his wristband, and those match. I'm going to listen to his lung sounds. And he does need suction. So we have our suction here available, and I've already gathered my supplies, brought those into the room with me. So I've got my suction catheter set, and my face shield, my sterile water, which is in date, and my hand hygiene. So I've got all my equipment. I'm going to go ahead and do my hand hygiene now. I'm going to turn my suction on and check it to be sure it's working. And it needs to be between 5 and 10. We're going to clamp it off. And it's at 10, so that's perfect. And we're going to set this here. Okay, at this point, I'm checking my patient's oxygen saturation. I'm going to tell him, I've already explained the procedure, he consents to that. I'm going to tell him if at any point in time he's got any discomfort or any problems, just to raise his hand and indicate, and we'll stop and adjust accordingly. At this point, I'm going to take his oxygen collar off. I'm going to connect him to 100% oxygen on an ambu bag. I'm going to hyperoxygenate him for 1 to 3 minutes, being sure that he has an adequate amount of oxygenation. We're going to disconnect the ambu bag. We're going to keep it handy just in case we need it. At this point, we're going to go ahead and don our face shield. And we're going to open our kit. Take our gloves and set them right there while we're grabbing our container for our fluid. Of course, they always put that in backwards. We're going to open it, set it here. Our saline is still in date. It's been opened before, so we're going to lift it. And from the same side we lift it, we're going to insert some into the container so that we can use that with our suction. Open our cups. With my dominant hand, I'm going to wrap my suction catheter around while holding it securely. With my non-dominant hand, and my glass is fogging up in the video, as you can see, I'm going to connect this to the suction tubing, and I am going to flip my suction on. At this point, I'm going to close it off, suction up some water. Perfect. And we're going to insert 4 to 5 inches inside the patient's trach tube. But we're going to let off on the suction and insert. If we meet resistance, we're going to pull back 1/2 inch. And we're going to start our suction, and while we're suctioning, within 15 seconds, we're going to twist and pull until we come out. this point, you're going to hold that. You're going to re-listen to your patient. To determine if they need further suctioning. My patient sounds good. I'm going to suction some more, just clear the line. The line is clear. I'm going to grab hold of my suction catheter. I'm going to cut my suction off. Put the tubing there. I'm going to grab my glove and pull it over this contaminated tubing. While holding that in that hand, in that left hand, I'm going to pull this glove off. I'm going to discard it in an appropriate waste receptacle. And I'm going to clean up the rest of my stuff. Okay, upon discarding the supplies, I'm going to finish with complete hand hygiene, the appropriate hand hygiene. I'm going to come back to my patient, check his oxygen saturation, be sure that he is okay, and he is. I'm going to replace his oxygen collar so that he's got that, and if he needed further oxygenation, I would do that. Then I'm going to go back to my patient chart, and I'm going to document the procedure appropriately and make sure that my patient is still okay. Hi, I'm Lori Ward, and I'm also going to be doing my trach care video as well on my patient that I just finished suctioning. Okay, so my patient, he understands the procedure and has consented to that. I'm going to gather my supplies. I have a trach care clean kit. I've just performed hand hygiene. I'm going to go ahead and grab a clean pair of gloves that I'm going to put right here for my use in just a moment. Checked his oxygen saturation. His oxygen saturation is fine. He knows to lift his hand and let me know if he gets in any distress. So what we're going to do now, and I've already listened to his heart and lung sounds. So his lungs sound fine since we just finished his suctioning. So we're going to have our ambu bag. We're going to go ahead and put our gloves on. Ambu bag is going to be hooked up to 100% oxygen, and I'm going to hyperoxygenate my patient for 1 to 3 minutes. I'm going to get a new pair of gloves because those just tore. I'm going to take my patient's oxygen collar off and set it over to the side. I'm going to connect him to the ambu bag that's connected to 100% oxygen. I'm going to oxygenate him between 1 to 3 minutes so he is adequately oxygenated. I'm going to disconnect the ambu bag, keeping it handy just in case we need it. At this point, we're going to remove the 4x4 that has been placed up underneath his trach. We're going to discard that in an appropriate receptacle. And discard them in an appropriate container. You know, I'm just one of those neat freaks, so hand hygiene like crazy. I'm going to open my trach care and clean trach kit and discard it. At this point, I'm going to grab my gloves. I'm going to set them over to the side. I'm going to grab my little towelette. Can't seem to get out the tray. Putting the shiny side down. And then I'm going to loosen my lids from my solutions that I'm going to be using to clean the tray. And still, my sterile water is still in date. And my hydrogen peroxide is in date. At this point, I'm going to empty my utensils onto my towel. I'm going to scoot this closer to me to keep it further away from that. I'm going to open my sterile gloves and set them here. I'm going to grab my peroxide and I'm going to fill this with 1/2 part peroxide and 1/2 part sterile water. I'm also going to add sterile water to my other 2 compartments. I'm going to put on my gloves. I'm going to put my sterile gloves on. Removing that. I'm going to separate my gauzes. So that I will have those for easy access here shortly when I need them. Apparently they shorted me on some gauzes. Okay. At this point, I am going to secure the trach, and I'm going to remove the inner cannula. I'm going to come across and put it in the hydrogen peroxide in sterile water solution. So I have it soaking in there. I'm going to grab the brush. I'm going to clean the outside of it and the inside to get all the little crusties off. And I'm going to have it sitting in the sterile water just to let it finish there. I'm going to go ahead and dampen one of these sterile gauzes and take this trach inner cannula, tap it to be sure that it's clean and dry and has no water residual in it. I'm going to secure it back in place. While I'm here, I'm going to go ahead and clean around it on one side and the other side while I'm holding it secure. I'm going to drop that. Grab this and just dampen a little more. Clean. And then I'm going to take the dry portion and I'm going to dry around it. We're going to take our Q-tips and put them in the sterile water and do 2 at a time. We're going to hold one and we're going to go and clean around the stoma, up, down, and around. Discard, up, down, around, and discard. And we're going to grab our dry ones. We're going to come back and we're going to dry up, down, around, discard, and then up, down, around, discard. At this point, I'm going to grab my trach collar. Lovely little packaging they put these in now. They're a little difficult to get open. And before we remove our patient's other trach collar, we're going to have this one secured in place. And we're going to go behind our patient's neck. And slide while you're holding the trach in place. And that's another reason you do not undo your previous collar yet. This through. And we're going to secure it for the patient. Make sure that it's going to be the appropriate width and length so that it will be secure and not allow that trach to move freely. And once you have that collar in place, you're going to come back and you're going to remove your old tray collar. Be sure that your tray collar has 1 finger breadth of room between it and your patient's neck so that it's snug and secure without being too restrictive. You're going to discard your old one and discard your supplies. You're going to check your patient. I would listen to my patient appropriately to be sure that his heart and lung sounds are fine. Check his oxygen saturation, asking for any discomfort. I'm going to put my 4x4 on while I'm still here and secure that in place. And listen to my patient's lung sounds and be sure there's no problems. The oxygen saturation is appropriate. My patient complains of no discomfort, no problems, states he's doing fine. I'm going to put his oxygen collar back on. I'm going to clean up my supplies. Then I'm going to go and document the appropriate documentation and perform hand hygiene right now. And I'm going to grab some clean gloves to discard the rest of my products. And this concludes my video.